hear your voice in the cool moonlight? Do you sing those words for me? To me they sound so empty. Why do you sound so sad as you tell me of the things you've seen and the home that you once had?
Good morning, everyone. This is Natalie, your Sunday sub-host for Witches of the Moon, and I would like to welcome you to the channel. This week's topic was the importance of correspondences, and whew, is that a loaded topic. Now, I want to let you know that I recorded this video on Tuesday morning due to time constraints with my classwork and my work schedule, and so I did not have an opportunity to watch everyone else's videos prior to making this video. And to be honest with you, I really didn't want to, because being fairly new to the craft in terms of practice, obviously, if you've seen my prior videos, I read a lot and studied a lot about the craft before I actually began on this path. But I kind of wanted to bring a different perspective perhaps than what some of the more knowledgeable witches would bring. So here is my perspective on the importance of correspondences. Correspondences are very important in magical workings. Obviously, you want things that are going to put you into a proper frame of mind and get your energy raised and your focus on the purpose of your magical workings. Now, in terms of the various types of correspondences, there are so many. Going kind of in line with last week's topic on your Book of Shadows, this is my Book of Shadows, and it's starting to fill up fairly quickly. And you know, I'm going to be honest with you, when I first started out, I wanted the whole dip pen and ink sort of thing, but due to my private practice and my private practice and schoolwork and everything else, I just kind of gave it up and went to printing it out on the printer and putting it into my book. If there was something that I saw that I really wanted in my book and I did not have time, or it was too much for me to copy by hand. And one of the things that I put into my Book of Shadows was correspondences. Llewellyn Publishers has a wonderful book called The Complete Book of Correspondences, I believe it is. I'll try to look it up on Amazon and put the link in the down bar in the description for you. But in terms of correspondences, there are so many. You have herbal correspondences. You have 3 pages of herbal correspondences, 4 pages, 5, 6, 7. I mean, 7 pages of herbal correspondences. You have color correspondences. You have elemental correspondences, tarot correspondences, planetary correspondences, stones, minerals, and crystals correspondences. I mean, the list of correspondences can go on. There's candle correspondences, time correspondences. So to go through correspondences, we could make a video every day of the year about an individual correspondence and probably not cover everything you would need to know. It takes time, it takes practice, and it also takes a bit of intuition, because not all correspondences are going to work for some people. For example, I find that personal correspondences tend to be the most powerful for me. So for example, if your grandfather used to take you to the beach when you were little, and that was one of your happiest memories, that was a good place for you, a good time for you, and now every time you see a seashell you think of your grandfather, then on your ancestral altar or at Samhain, if you were trying to communicate with the spirit of your grandfather who may have passed on, obviously he's passed on if you're trying to communicate with him at Samhain, having a seashell on your ancestral altar would be a personal correspondence to you. It would be something important to you. Likewise, if the color blue is typically associated with healing. So blue crystals, blue candles, things like that. But if for you, blue was a color that you associated with death and dying and disease, because say maybe you had a close friend or family member who was dying of a terminal disease, and the last time you saw that person alive they were wearing blue, and it's ruined that correspondence for you, then I do not recommend you use blue for healing, because it is not going to bring that to mind for you. So while correspondences in general are very important and time is very important, for example, we will often talk about doing additional or bringing to you magic during the waxing moon, and doing detraction magic during the waning moon up to the new moon. You know, there are ways that you can do magic that don't necessarily have to fall within that time frame. So for example, if you wanted to lose weight and you were trying to cast a spell to help you stay within that physical frame of mind to lose the weight, and it's during a waning moon, then you would say, bring health and healthy weight to me. If it's during the, if it's during waxing moon, you would bring it to you. Bring me the health. Bring me a healthy weight. If you were doing a waxing, during a waxing moon, then you would do the, take away from me. Excuse me, that would be my husband. Pardon me. Sorry about that interruption. There's a story behind the ringtone in the picture, by the way, but maybe I'll share that on my personal channel. Anyhow, correspondences are very important, but I think the most powerful and potent correspondences are correspondence that have some meaning to you. You could spend the next 50 years practicing the craft and probably not remember or know all of the correspondences, which, going back to last week's topic, is the reason for a journal or a book of shadows. It's to help you log things. But I find that the most potent and powerful correspondences in the craft are those that are of a personal meaning to you. So while it does help you get into the proper frame of mind for your magical workings, for your ritual, for your spell work, for your worship, if something that a book says you need to have corresponded doesn't correspond for you personally, don't use it. Go with what is good for you. So that is my spiel on the importance of correspondences and the types of correspondences. There's a couple of really good websites if you're wanting to learn the different correspondences that go. Wikipedia.com is a great one, and I'll try to put that in the description bar for you. But it was my source for a lot of the correspondences I have, and like I said, there are so many. You know, you could spend the next 6 months printing out paper and trying to memorize it and still not know everything. So that's a really good source. Llewellyn's complete book of I believe it's called the Complete Book of Correspondences. Erin may have mentioned that, Amethyst Moon may have mentioned that in her video. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to watch the video, so it's a good one. It's a thick book and it's got a lot of good correspondences. Dr. Buckland and Scott Cunningham also list correspondences in many of their writings. In Magical Aromatherapy, Scott Cunningham gives you a nice list of correspondences for various types of herbs and aromas to use in magical working. So the sources are out there. It's going to take a lot of research, but most important, go with your intuition and go with what's important to you. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.